You're fine. Go ahead.
Hello, Disney friends. I am Sam from Sam's Disney Diary, and that is the blue-haired blogger himself, Greg from Fantasyland News. It is Wednesday, June the 6th, 2025. Huge news from Walt Disney World and other places, including a trailer that just dropped for some Universal thing that Greg's in the middle of right now. But what do we got going on this week, Greg?
Sam, we have Wicked. That's all that matters right now.
Wicked trailer just dropped moments ago.
Wicked trailer literally just dropped, and there we go. It is posted. If anybody wants to see the Wicked trailer, please go to fantasylandnews.com. And,
it's there. It just dropped. But before that, we have lots going on today, man.
Okay, here's what we got going on, my friend. Now that I can pay attention for a second, where are we? There we are, my friend. I was like, okay. Oh, we got breaking news on top of breaking news, which took away our breaking news. And then I just broke the Wicked for Good trailer breaking news. We got breaking news, my friends. Not only that, but we have the new Spaceship Earth popcorn came out. Hey, listen, July 6th, we got a lot of stuff closing around here. A lot of long time. We're going to talk Piston, Piston, Peak National Park over at Magic Kingdom. We the railroad news, some Pride Month stuff, Grab and Goof, Goofycore Hall, Geo82, DVC Welcome Home. We got a Magic Shot scavenger hunt. I got Jaws. I got Universal. Dude, it is a lot this week. Welcome to the show, Sam. How are you, my friend? Let's get on with this.
I am doing great. We're going to get on with it because there's so much coming. All that and more coming up in just a minute. All right, Greg. So much happening. Of course, as always,
Sam.
Look, we were ready to go with breaking news yesterday when I put this together. Disney dropped information about what's coming to the Magic Kingdom, and in those 18 hours, 12 hours, you grab breaking news because of a brand new popcorn bucket that dropped at Epcot today.
What popcorn bucket, Sam?
Of course, you have one right there with you. It lights up too. That was going to be my first question for you. Does it light up?
Yeah, it
Absolutely, it
lights
does.
up. It goes through the whole cycle of stuff. I mean, it is tremendous.
That
You know
is
me, I
phenomenal.
only collect a certain sort of popcorn buckets,
It's
and
that one.
it is literally this one. And there you go. It literally will just keep going through. It does open where the little Epcot symbol is,
Oh,
so
that's
you can
cool.
see
Yeah,
right
yeah. I
through.
wondered if it opened on that side or the other side.
Yeah, and then there's your new strap to it. That looks great. Has Walt Disney, has the monorail, has Spaceship Earth on it, the fireworks, a little
Love it.
luminous looking. It
Love it.
is $26. Yeah, I mean, look, man, they announced that at 8:30. I had left my house at 8 o'clock to go over to Epcot. I pulled into the parking lot and they announced it, and thank God people don't pay attention sometimes, because everybody was running to Guardians and I was the only man running to a popcorn stand.
Which was this was the stand that's where you got yours. Is this where it is?
Yeah,
Where's
that's me being first in line and nobody else there.
it's awesome that they announced it and they had it same day. That is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I mean, we'll talk about more later. Like today was a special day over at Epcot with Geo 82 opening up. The
Yep.
summer is going on over there. Cool Kids Summer's happening. This was just a surprise drop from Disney Eats and Disney Parks, and good on them, man. That's awesome.
Billy, thanks for joining us. It is a cool bucket for sure.
And
I'm
hopefully
going to
we have
ask a
wait, do we
question
have
on her behalf, Greg.
go ahead.
Are there still Death Star buckets available at studios?
Yes.
Nice. All right.
There is
We're
Death
in
Star, there's
June.
Stormtrooper, there is Jawa
All right.
Sippers. They are all available over there.
All right. Good. Good.
And
good,
I
good.
saw them yesterday. So, and there is a lot of them.
Awesome.
Which, by the way, you can always go to fantasylandnews.com and check out. Every month I update the popcorn bucket list, and I keep it updated all month. So if anything changes, the day I find out about it, I will
Go back
update
to
that
that.
article. So the newest month is June. You just do June popcorn buckets Disney World.
There you go.
It's good. I mean, and not only that, but you'll see, like, man, when we talk about, do I have a popcorn bucket minute today, or am I?
You do. No, I gave you more than a minute because you had like 8 images to share. So that's
Jeez.
later because we're gonna do Popcorn Bucket Wars this week, which is that one versus some that you saw at Universal. But we'll get there in a minute. Before we get there, let's
the real breaking news that really this one kind of outranks everything. Yeah, Sam, I want to get your opinion on this. Look, we now know that we're going to start off with the closures. We're going to talk about the positives in 1 second, but I want to get through the closures, right? We are getting closed. Let's go through this. Liberty Bell Steamship is closing on June 6th. It's sorry, June 7th is the closing date. That means the last day to ride it is June 6th. Tom Sawyer Island is also closing on the same day. So I want to get your opinion, being a historian of Disney World. What are your thoughts on these two closing?
My thoughts are it falls in the same category of other things that have closed at Walt Disney World that are still in Disneyland. There not only is a Mark Twain riverboat in Disneyland, the one that Walt rode on, there's also the sailing ship Columbia in Disneyland, and there's the original Tom Sawyer Island, which was Walt's design. So I don't have a problem with it because those things still exist in other areas. And I think when we look at what we're getting, and it's going to change the center of that park, a place where, let's face it, nobody's running there in the beginning of the day, minus find the paintbrush and get a fast pass that they used to do on Tom Sawyer's Island. That's been gone because the internet. That's why everybody said run and get it, and there were fights over it. But anyway, I think that it becomes a new center of the park. It's going to be a couple of years, but let's talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk through what is going on at the center.
So the original concept art that we had was from the D23 Expo last year, and it was more of the, hey, this is what we're getting. It looks really cool, but we all know that original concept art, which they didn't even tell us where it was, but when you sort of looked at the side, you could see from the facade that was Frontierland.
Yep.
And we knew that we were getting an attraction, this Lightning McQueen rally racer, some interesting backgrounds here, like this huge snow-topped peak that looks a little bit like Avatar, if you ask me, when I looked at this originally. And some, here's your finish line. It looks a little bit like Radiator Springs, but not, because it's outside and you see all the dirt behind these cars. Well, now finally, Greg, we got concept art and confirmation of a name on this new area, and maybe a mascot if this is our park ranger car.
It is. It is our
Welcome
mascot.
to Piston Peak.
Yeah, that's our mascot, which is a callback to Humphrey the Bear and Donald Duck with the park ranger, with his stupid little feet and his bumbling ways.
No, you're right. You're right.
But yeah, so he's now
he's the mascot because of the eyes, the hat, and the colors.
Yeah, and what they don't talk about, Sam, is the second attraction that's going on here, right? They talk about the first major attraction with the Roadster Rally or whatever it's called. And the concept art, you can see the second attraction. We don't know what it is yet, but I love that they are keeping a little bit of the Rivers of America, which goes between Frontierland and this new Piston Peak National Park area land.
By the way, that's from Planes, Fire, and Rescue. If you're familiar with that movie at all, it was the franchise that never really took off, part of Cars, but that's what it was. There, what's up, man?
Yeah, look, 3 to 4 months. I kind of like Disney springing on this last minute. Look, the only reason I'm gonna say that, look, the Muppets, they have given us months, and you know who's going to see the Muppets right now? Nobody. Like, it's still empty. Nobody's going on Tom Sawyer Island. I'm there daily. Like, nobody goes there. It's a cool little ride out there.
I did. When it was first announced, I did. I'm in the process of editing a video that will drop on Sam's Disney Diary, and I did one for my final voyage on the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But Greg, you know what I'm going to do with this kind of context. I'm going to take this. Let's strip away some of the things around it. This is the attraction, which is the road rally, and also a walkthrough, which we're going to get to in a minute, which is
I love that, by the way, especially what you're doing right here. This is ingenious.
All right, so we're taking this and we're going to take an image of the Magic Kingdom. Now, when we take the Magic Kingdom, let's zoom in onto the Rivers of America. This is Big Thunder, and of course, this is Tiana down here. We have the Country Bears, everything else around the bottom, all the way around to the show building for the Haunted Mansion, along with the covered queue. Now, of course, the concept art they give us isn't the same angle or the same direction, so I had to turn this around and twist it a little bit. So this is the same area. We are just looking down with Big Thunder on the right, Splash Mountain, and the fronts of the facades of the buildings are just cut off. Let's take, and there's one thing I want you to keep an eye on, everybody watching, because Greg and I already went through this. When you first come past the Hall of Presidents and you go into Liberty Square, straight ahead is the loading building where you get onto the Liberty Bell.
Yes, sir.
I'm using that point as a reference because that point is in the concept art. So we can use that to lay the concept art right over top, and you'll see that this building turns into a bigger building. But now we can kind of see the footprint that this is going to take up and where this is going to fit into Frontierland, including, Greg, as you and I have talked about, it's going to blend right into Big Thunder Mountain. So all the work they're doing on it this year, it's going to be a seamless integration between part of this attraction, which is the same mountain type things, and it looks like a geyser and some water. That's really cool.
That geyser may actually be the geyser at Big Thunder.
I love it. If tied these two together, it fits. I got no problem with it.
It does, and I love the walkways that they have around here. The important part is they have really gone out of their way to say, hey, listen, and this, I don't understand this one. Maybe you can explain it. They have talked about how the tree lines and the mountains are going to protect Frontierland from hearing the sounds of people and the noise from Rally Racer and from the whole Pixar area, right? So they're trying to keep the audio away. But the problem I have with that is you Splash Mountain kind of those screams
You're gonna
echo
hear those
across the
screams.
park.
Yeah, they
Right.
do.
So
And
I
I
love
guess
the concept. I love what they're doing. There's some stuff that you pointed out in this map that I think are hidden little details. Like one, that is definitely, now that more I look at it, that's the geyser from Big Thunder. So now we have a new walkway that goes from Tiana's around Big Thunder. And if you look, that's going to continue over
yes.
to Disney Villains Land when that
Well,
actually
and that's
opens up.
I'm gonna zoom out in a couple of slides and show
Yeah.
you what my thoughts are there. What I saw here and what jumped out to me, this the building that is currently the loading station for the Liberty Bell. Today,
Yeah.
when you look through that, you just see that big boat. But it appears that if they change this, you're gonna walk right into Frontierland, past the Hall of Presidents on your right and the Liberty Bell on your left, and look straight through this building into a magnificent fountain that is coming off of these frozen rocks in the air. And I just think it could be beautiful looking through there.
It could look, and to be quite honest, we could be getting a Grizzly Peak kind of look to it.
Exactly.
And instead of
Something
bears, you're
iconic.
going to see cars up there.
Well, yes, and you're going to hear the sounds of that waterfall,
Yeah.
which should help in drowning out any sounds of the cars, the attraction itself,
Yeah.
right? It's not going to be
I
a
also
diss
like
track,
that.
boom, boom. You're
I
not going to
like
hear it.
that Liberty Square. I like that Haunted Mansion is being left alone. Looks like we're going to see a pathway below where
Yep,
that
it looks
queue
like
is.
it comes right up to it. And as
Yeah.
I was playing with this, Greg, it's not at scale, of course. It's just close. So this isn't a definite representation, but this is close to how it's going to fit in there.
You sure? That looks at scale to me. I'm kidding. Yeah, I think we got that, Sam. What else did you notice in there?
There's a few things. Let me step back a second because let me see where I went next, because my next this is huge. This is awesome. There's cool things happening here. I can't wait to see this. If you look at and zoom back a little bit,
Right.
and flip that map upside down, you kind of see where it fits from a higher level looking into the park. And this also, Greg, I didn't mean to do that. This also, Greg, to me, pointed out that, hey, there's a lot of area next to this for Villains Land.
There's a lot of area. And look, to talk about Villains Land for 1 second, they did give us a major announcement about this. Hidden in this Piston Peak National Park announcement was Disney Villains Land is going to have restaurants, it's going to have shops, it's going to have dining, and it is going to have 2 major attractions they have announced. One of them being a roller coaster. The other one, we don't know. It's probably some other e-ticket type attraction that fits into that area. But
there's a lot of land here.
So they're saying that this Cars themed area is the largest expansion. And I don't know if they're including Disney Villains in this largest expansion.
I think they have to be.
Because
and I'll tell you why, Greg, because
it's not that big.
If I pick this up, and I place it over New Fantasyland, I don't think it's as big as New Fantasyland.
It's not. I mean, nothing for nothing. If you could see Tron in there, I bet you that's the same footprint as Tron, including the building
Tron's
and the ride
just
itself.
off. Yeah, I would agree. Tron is just off this particular image.
So,
but look,
you're getting 2. I just hope that. Look, you see what Epic has done. You see what Disney is trying to do. This has the opportunity to be massive. I love how they're separating Frontierland from it, but it still kind of fits in with it. There's a lot of hope for this area, and I think Disney Imagineering and Disney itself is really on the ball with this. Look, kids don't want to see Tom Sawyer or care about Tom Sawyer. They want Cars. They want Mater. They may not be there. I don't know if they want Ranger Rick here, but they definitely.
Is that his name?
No, I don't know. You name another Ranger.
Well, let's go back to this concept because I want to zoom in on the center here. We know where the attraction is.
Let's go.
There's this sort of national park that you can walk into. Look, it's even a sign here that looks like national parks. You take a picture in front of it, and
Yeah.
as you zoom back in there, there's some interesting things all around, including, upon further notice, it looks like one of the barrel bridges
Yeah.
that are currently on Tom Sawyer Island. I
I'm
love
telling
that
you, the
little
more I
nod.
think about this, the more I think of Grizzly Peak and DCA. Like
Yes.
you're going to get a kids walkthrough area, and I'm fine with that. This
What's
is
in
what
this
it's made
building?
for.
Is dude, is this a quick service? What is this building? I don't
I think
know.
you're looking at an eatery right there. But
Could be.
the other thing I noticed, Sam, is up top these swirling pools that had multiple colors up there with
Right here. Yep.
yeah, are we looking at possibly another water attraction? Or is that just like that goes up some? I don't know. Like, yeah,
I think it's just a fountain on the sides because I believe this center line is the track for
center
for
track
the
for the
that's the
rally.
track for the racers. It comes down this way and then goes
Yeah,
around and back up.
that's a pretty big ride.
I do think that water's going to tie into Bayou Adventure. It only makes sense, right? You're
It only
pulling
makes
the whole
sense.
land together.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Ranger J. Autobahn Woodlore. Thank you, Scott. It was not coming to me, and I knew who that was. But yeah, man,
That's the
great.
Ranger from the Donald Duck.
Yeah,
Scott, that's
or
awesome.
Humphrey the Bear, and no one likes
Yeah,
Humphrey
yeah.
the Bear.
No, I love Humphrey. He's fine. You don't
No
like the
one.
bears, dude? You're all about bears.
Dude, I'm all about bears. That Humphrey the Bear?
This was
I'm
this
kidding,
is
man. I don't care.
That's a screenshot from a video of one of the ride vehicles that Imagineers were testing.
Oh,
Gives you
that's not
sort of
what
an
we
idea
actually
of
get
what's
it.
happened.
You just
Yeah,
hold
no,
your
you're not
hand
going to
up
get
on
in
it
that.
and you walk
Forget
around
it.
with it.
All right. Here's one other thing, because these two things tie together, and you pointed this out in your blog, Greg. If you look at this construction area, that big red line that I drew is the Walt Disney World Railroad. And they're going to need to get a lot of gear over that railroad, through that railroad. And the interesting thing is we just had a railroad down for almost 3 years because of Tron construction, right? I'm sure the last thing that
It just opened. It literally opened December 23rd, 2022.
So the last thing they wanted to do is close this. So what Walt Disney World has announced, and this is directly from the Walt Disney World Railroad blog, or not the blog, but the attraction site at waltdisneyworld.com, to make way for the largest expansion in the history of Magic Kingdom, which to me is both of those things, Greg, not just but both. The Walt Disney World Railroad will operate under a modified route that excludes the Frontierland Station beginning July 7th, the same day everything else closes. The attraction will operate as a shuttle between Main Street Station and Frontierland only, which basically means, and Greg, you give me some more detail because you got some other color.
Yeah, so what they're going to do is you're just going back and forth. Now, will they let you go further back, possibly to make it a full ride where they're not going to turn the trains around. They're literally going to work back and forth just
forward
from
and
that area.
backwards.
It's working as a shuttle between those two lands. The interesting thing is that way you're not facing forward the whole time. What they're doing is taking the seating and rotating it 90 degrees, just like you have on the Disneyland Disneyland Railroad, the original one. So
and remember
all
that
of the seating is now going to face, and it's like Rafiki's Planet Watch going out there on that train.
And it's interesting, Greg, because in those two examples, you face inward because Walt didn't want you seeing the outside world from the train, which you could see. And over at Rafiki's Planet Watch, you're looking away from the buildings where they house the animals. So in this case, they just don't. I would not want to sit on a train and go backwards. Let's just put it that way. Going sideways.
I don't have a problem with this. But it's 2/3 of the train are not going to be operating. I'm glad to hear. Look, I love going into Magic Kingdom and hearing that train whistle and knowing that train's there, and I ride it.
The Liberty Bell going to go away. That's
right.
Stinks.
You're going to admit that whistle. It carries across that whole area when you're down there, and to the hotels all the way to Fort Wilderness. So that's those sounds are going to be missing from the air. So listen. Is this a good thing? This is a great thing. We're keeping an attraction open. I had speculated months ago that this was going away. I didn't realize that they were going to come back and do as
I
a
think we
shuttle.
talked
I'm
about that. Yeah.
happy that they're coming back as a shuttle. Yeah, I mean, look, that was one of the first articles I wrote after we got back from D23, the
Yes.
Ultimate Fan event last year.
I remember.
We both sat down. We talked about all this stuff. I wrote an article about the train. People weren't talking about another opening day attraction was going away. And this is the one I was talking about. And I'm glad it's not going away. I don't like not being able to take the whole trip, but at least we have something for the time being. But listen, Sam, here's the major issue of this one. This isn't just for 2 or 3 years. This is 7 to 10 years of this.
You think so?
They're not going to open it until Disneyland Villain or Disney World Villains opens up.
I would agree that it probably won't open till then, but that's
right. So you're looking at 2023
I'm going to say
or 2033.
I agree with you, Scott. It's going to be extremely weird. Can you imagine the cast members needing to explain to people what's happening who just assume it's a train around? I mean, that it's always been that way. I don't remember it ever being in this type of shuttle back and forth service.
Right. But Sam, that's why they have us as blogs, is to try and get the news out there. And if they don't know, it's on them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
kidding.
exactly.
I mean, it's definitely weird.
It's weird, but there are times when we use the train to get from place to place, right? To get from when there's a parade happening or something's going on and you jump on at Main Street and you get off at Frontierland.
Dude, you have no clue. Like, this sucks for me because at 10 a.m. when it's really hot and I have to go from Frontierland over to Dumbo, man, that train is a breeze.
Yeah.
It is so comfortable to take that. It saves me steps. I don't get that. I don't get that daily anymore. So
yeah,
it is what it is. I'm happy that we keep it. I have, look, my fascination with the Disney World Railroad and just Disney and the railroad and the history behind that. That is what my love of Disney came from.
Absolutely.
So I'll take the train being there.
Absolutely. And I highlighted the area that when the train's down, they can do a heck of a lot back here, man. And when you look at this, Greg, this waterway that is the rivers of America, when you look at it from this spot, you can see that this thing is connected all the way out to Bay Lake. And this is where all of the electric water pageant floats are docked along the way there. So that waterway, there's some major construction back here. If they're going to have to create a dam or whatever they're going to have to do.
And Sam, one thing I haven't reported on is how much bulldozing has been going on back there. Like, if you get a new shot,
like in the back here.
Yeah, that is all gone. That's all been ripped up. They are starting to put in the trailers back there for the construction.
The construction trailers, and then I'm going to assume there's going to be some backstage stuff that's got to be built.
But I mean, look at Disney. Like, I mean, I'm blown away that they are doing Animal Kingdom, building a new land there.
Yes.
Hollywood Studios building a new land there. Disney Magic Kingdom, 2 lands they're building there. You're like, man, that is a lot going on at one time.
That's exactly what they told us at the Ultimate Fan event. Was look, we're not just announcing a couple of attractions. We're doing the biggest investment into Walt Disney parks globally with new lands.
Dude, imagine being a kid and just understanding what Disney World is like and all of this stuff is going on. You have no clue what it is, and you're like, well, you come back 5 years later and you're like, I don't know,
it's all different.
I
don't remember this.
What happened?
I don't remember this. It's crazy, except for Animal Kingdom. You're like, this is the same.
Hey, it's Animal Kingdom.
Anyway, let's move on.
Everything.
That's awesome. Love the comments. Thank you, guys. Let's come back to present day, because this month, it's June. It's Pride Month. There's merchandise available at Epcot. Is that where you were, Ray?
This is Epcot. Yeah, there is Pride walls in each individual park. They have the Pride merchandise,
kind of like the purple wall thing.
Yes, and right next to the purple wall, it has another one of those love with Mickey ears, and looks like a Mickey's hat is over at Magic Kingdom. Balloons at Hollywood Studios, something over at Animal Kingdom. So yeah, they do this at each individual park, and if you celebrate it, you celebrate it. If you don't, you don't. Simple as that.
And if you want a popcorn bucket, you're covered, my man.
At Disneyland, though, not at Disney World.
Oh, that's just Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What's
I
great
should
about
have
these
known
is
by the Mickey
that
talking bucket behind it.
yeah. What's funny is that is like when you hold your hands up and do that, like you see a lot of people do here at Disney World.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
But that has holes for you to put your hands in to make it look like you're doing it, like Hulk gloves.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
then
cool,
where's the
man.
popcorn go if your hand goes in it?
It goes in the top. It goes in where the heart is.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
love
right.
it,
I
man.
just
It's
wonder
so
if you-
weird. It's weird, man. I love it.
It's fine. Grab and Goof. Let's talk about this over at Communicore Hall. And we speculated to this, Greg, because you hadn't physically been to Goofycore Hall. You have been now. And we speculated now that Flower and Garden is over, correct? Flower and Garden's
Correct.
done
It is over.
out of there.
Topiaries were still up today, but it's over.
Well, it takes it, they bring them out a little bit early. It takes them a
like
little while to
them.
get them back. But we were worried about the menu at
Yeah.
the outside venue that is part of Communicore Hall, because that had traditionally gone right with the festivals. And
Right, festival
now
favorites.
it has turned into a goofy kids station, which is awesome. But before we get there, let's go ahead inside. And since you've been there, and I've seen some of your pictures, I understand now that the floor, the entire carpet is a big game board inside of this place.
It's a giant game board. Your pieces are actually in the air as flags or tapestries hanging up. So if you land on Donald, you take 2 steps back. If you get a Mickey mini bow, you get to get an extra turn type thing. And
Okay.
it's you play a game when you go in there. It is the full on board game for
With
kids.
start on one end and
Yep.
finish on the
It's
other end.
cute, man. It is cute. It's for kids to get out of the hot, go
Yes.
into some AC, and the kids, they'll get bored after a few minutes and want to go back out running. You're like, no, go play with Goofy. Goofy's babysitting you now.
I got a couple of
Disney
questions.
owns you. Go, kid.
First question: there is no kitchen open inside of this, correct?
Correct. There is no
Okay,
kitchen. There's
so the
nothing
kitchen
open
is
inside.
outside. There's
Yes.
not one inside, because you had mentioned a few weeks ago that they closed the Florida Fresh booth that was in here and moved
Yes.
it outside.
Yep.
Okay. Second question: do you think this was one of the activities that would have been inside the play pavilion if it finished?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think this is one of those things that probably would have been an ongoing thing for the last few years had it been open.
And that's kind of where my head was when I saw this. I'm like, wait a minute. I
Mhm.
think this was because remember the play pavilion, which was the old Wonders of Life, which is still
Yeah.
there, but it's nobody goes near it anymore. That facility was supposed to have like 6 or 7 different things like this inside of it to keep kids occupied and happy. And I just wondered if somebody picked one and said, let's do that over in Goofycore Hall.
Yeah, and it works. Look, it's to get energy out of kids and have them have fun. And
Yeah.
I've been around the parks. I've seen all the character interactions, and it's magical and it's wonderful. And had that play pavilion opened up, I think you would have seen stuff like this every single day. And
Yes.
they could have switched it up and be like, "Hey, it's Mickey Mondays."
Exactly. They absolutely could have done that. All right, the Grab and Goof, which has a couple of things here. Let's take a quick look at the menu. It looks to be kids focused, but interesting, right? Mac and cheese bites, sure, with ranch dressing, pepperoni pizza ravioli. Have you tried this, Greg?
Does anything on there sound like something Greg would try, even if he were a child?
So the pepperoni pizza
So
ravioli,
no, I
and
have not.
cookies
Sam.
and cream ravioli.
Nothing like not everything needs to be wrapped in a ravioli. Like not all of us are full on Italian.
Well, I would say call
But
it
that
what
is
you
such a
want.
kid thing. Like, you know what
Dude,
I love?
call it what you
Chef
want.
Boyardee.
It can come out of the freezer and go into a deep fryer.
But yeah,
That's
sure.
what they're after here,
It's
right?
not a pierogi. You know what I'm saying?
It
Stuff
could
it
be
with
though. There's not
potato and
much
stuff.
difference between them.
Yeah, it's the dough. It's all about the dough. Like one's a dough, one's a pasta.
There's also a beverage here, Goofy Gone Fishing. I thought you might try that one. Blue raspberry lemonade with strawberry boba pearls, and your choice of a fish or a shark gummy. You can
Yeah,
also get
once
it
you get
without.
hit
Oh
in
no,
the
I'm
back of the
sorry.
throat
Seasonal
with a
beer.
boba pearl, you never want to eat them again.
There is an image of the what is that? The cookies and cream ravioli
Yeah.
sandwich, cookie crusted chocolate cream ravioli, topped with chocolate ganache and vanilla cream. No,
Dude, no, no, no. I'm glad some kids love dude, this is for kids. This is great for them. I can
cool.
feel my diabetes going.
No, I get it. The fish thing looks kind of cool. I mean, it looks cool. It looks like
Okay,
a
okay,
fish
and
tank,
Sam, it
a
looks
fish boat.
amazing in pictures
Yes. Okay.
because
So in
I've seen
pictures,
it in
look.
person, and it does
Okay.
not look
All right. It
and
doesn't look
that's
like it because
exactly
it
it's a
looks.
fishbowl. The boba pearls sit at the bottom. It's the gravel, and then the
It's the
fish
rock.
are,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then there's sharks, and oh no, the shark's gonna eat you, and you go nom 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 nom.
All right, let's move on to Geo 82. Geo 82 opened today. Is that right, Greg?
It certainly did open today, Sam.
Opened today. This is the new adults only lounge that is inside of Spaceship Earth. This is an image from this morning of Geo 82. It looks kind of cool.
Have you seen all the images from inside there? Like, did you get a
I
chance to
have,
see them?
yes. Some of
Yeah,
these
it
remind me of Space
it is
220 in
small.
design.
It's absolutely small, but it's absolutely beautiful. And listen, it is a bit
I love
pricey.
the artwork, by the way.
Yeah,
I'll
it is
say
a
that.
bit pricey in there, Sam. You can see the menu prices online, and I'm not going to sit there and say like it's not. It is a
This looks
date
exactly
night.
like the concept
This
art.
is a date night where you want to go and hang out for a little bit. It's adults only. There's no kids. You don't want to stress. You don't care about spending a few extra dollars at that point, having a wonderful evening. The fireworks view is fantastic from up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
The inside, what you see on those back walls with that geodesic sphere shape and the triangles coming out, that's real 3D. That's not
That's
just
cool.
printed on the wall. Like that's straight up
That's
legit.
straight
on
up like Spaceship Earth.
Yeah. And if you notice, it's only on that back wall that butts up against actual Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's pretty ingenious. The lighting looks great. The seating
Yeah.
is good. The views are spectacular. I go Friday at 11 a.m. So
Nice.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm
get
actually
more
interested
images.
in
Let's
one
see
or
what we
two
got.
drinks. Yeah,
I
so
love the
that's from the
picture from the
outside. Everything's
outside.
lit up.
Yeah, from the outside, you can see from the outside. There's enough to go. Wow, what's going on in there? That
Right.
looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Can I get in there? No, you can't.
Well, I can't wait to hear
Reservations
how
gone.
it went for you on Friday.
Which, by
That's
the
awesome.
way,
We'll
in
talk about
case
it
you were
next week.
trying to get in there, it is reservation only.
Yes.
I tried myself and asked this morning. They do not accept walk-ups at all. So there's
don't
no
even try.
join walk-up list. There's no going to the counter and asking, nothing. It is reservation only. And you
That
must
will
have
keep it-
ID and be 21 and over.
Okay, that's fair. I'm good.
Sam, I know where we're going when you come down.
We're gonna have to get a reservation ahead of time. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The Duck Raz at the boathouse. That sounds cool, Scott. I have to check that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what? It is. And then, so that comes with a little rubber duck in your drink.
Okay.
There's a kid version of that, by the way, just in case if you didn't know.
Very
But yeah, the duck thing. It's there's a plenty of rubber ducks sitting on my banister somewhere from there.
Awesome. If you are a DVC member, Welcome Home Weeks was recently introduced.
Yes.
It is from August the 14th through September the 16th. And that is a series of special events, special character greetings for DVC members. There's lots of details on the DVC site. This is something you made me aware of, Greg, and I'm a DVC member. I thought maybe that I would have known, but
Yeah, I thought you would have known too, man, because
I
you're
didn't.
my hookup.
Yeah. Well,
I
if
had
I'm
to.
down there,
So
I'll be there.
just so people are aware, what it is DVC members this summer, they're having different special treats as a DVC owner. If you have Alani as your home resort, they have different things going on at Alani. If you have Disneyland, they have different deals, 20, 40% off of certain places to eat out there. Here at Disney World, they have some really cool special events. They have some morning coffee meetups. Coffee is included. It's free with a little snack and beverage. They have different ice cream socials. They have different discounts at restaurants. The thing I was interested in, and this is besides like Moonlight Magic and the other events that are going around this, they are having special character meetups for DVC members, and they are happening on certain weekends down here. And I think, Sam, you are going to be maybe down here for D23, and it's the weekend of or 2 days prior to D23.
So if there's a possibility, I will look into that because I do anticipate being there for Destination D23, which is over Labor Day weekend.
And nothing for nothing, in case people were wondering, I sent him that because I wanted to go to the character greeting with him.
That's awesome. No problem.
Speaking of characters,
Phineas and Ferb have showed up at Epcot for season 5. Is that right?
Season 5, man, after a many-year hiatus. Yeah.
Tomorrow. So is that like midnight
tomorrow?
Night,
it premieres on Disney Channel, and then the next day it premieres on Disney Plus.
I saw some pictures of you and a Holly with the characters.
We certainly did.
And they look good. Where is this exactly?
Okay. And I'm going to tell you why I love this. This turned into one of my favorite meet and greets of all time. And it's not because it's Phineas and Ferb, which we all love, Phineas and Ferb. But it's happening at where Pluto meets in World Celebration as you enter Epcot, right in your right-hand side underneath Spaceship Earth. Before you hit Pin Traders on the right-hand side is where Pluto is meeting. Had a little backdrop for him over there, right? So now as you walk into Epcot, it's Phineas and Ferb, the first meet and greet you meet.
That's cool.
The nice thing about that is they have a new backdrops that they put in for it. They have a new queue for it. But what they have figured out is because the audio system in Communicore area, or it's in that front World Celebration area, has just been updated, individual zones can be selected. So while you're in the meeting greeting Phineas and Ferb music is playing above you only in that spot.
That is great. So the rest of the Epcot music is all over, but when you're in there with Phineas and Ferb, you hear the theme
That's
song.
what you hear. You hear just different versions of their songs. It was really well done. It was really well ran. We were second to meet them when they came out. Some Uber fan was waiting there since 6 a.m., camped out. He was like the Guns N' Roses Deep Purple tour back in 87. Actually, that was Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses with Deep Purple, but that's neither here nor there.
Here nor there,
So
That's
they
awesome.
were, it's right there as you walk in. They are right there, and the people were great, and it was great to see them. And Phineas and Ferb, and
awesome.
not only that, but it's not the costumes we've seen them in Jollywood Nights for.
Speaking of that, Scott just asked about Jollywood Nights. How long did you wait for these guys over there?
We waited 5 minutes because we were second in line.
Well, you knew they were coming. They were premiering.
Yeah, we knew ahead of time. It was roughly 30 minutes. And it's staying around 25 to 30 minutes now because most of the people got done day one, so you don't have that big rush. And then it depends on what time you go during the day. But 45 minutes to an hour is a bit much. It's not a special occasion. They're out for the next month or two.
That's awesome. Love to see that.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a nerd out there in the chat. Hello. Let's move on to Epcot because some other cool things, Greg. You alluded last week about looking for a magic shot scavenger hunt, and you found it at Epcot. And I thought it was just Epcot, but this is actually a new Cool Kids Summer Magic Shot Photo Pass scavenger hunt for all 4 of the parks. Super cool.
I know, right?
And I love that they actually show you what the magic shots are.
I see. That's what I love is because you would have to go to every photo pass and be like, what magic shot do you have? And they'll be like, I'll just put it in there for you. It'll be magic. And you're like, no, dude, I want a certain one. Do you have it? And it becomes very awkward. We'll put it that way.
I love this. The Olaf at the Magic Kingdom. I love Lumiere.
like the pollination scavenger hunt is over. We don't have a scavenger hunt going on. This was hidden. Like I had to go seek this out to find this information. I had heard about this from behind the scenes. A photo pass lady was like, "Oh, go to the front and pick up a scavenger hunt." And I was like,
So
"You
it's in
piqued
with the
my
maps.
interest."
It's in with the maps
No,
right next to.
no,
No.
no.
Oh, okay.
You
Where
have
is
to
it then?
go to the PhotoPass studio or find a PhotoPass photographer that actually has this book. If not, you have to go to the PhotoPass studio. So Magic Kingdom, right to your right-hand side as you enter Magic Kingdom, or you go back to Liberty Square. They both have
Okay.
these books back there, right?
Okay.
Epcot, the first store, Pin Traders, and the camera shop right there. They have them.
Okay.
Hollywood Studios, right to your left-hand side as you enter the park, or you go back to in Star Wars, they have it. Galaxy's Edge, they have it. Toy Story Land and on Hollywood Boulevard, and over Animal Kingdom, it's as you enter the park on your left-hand side. Okay.
Dude, I'm looking at the picture you took here. It's page 18 and 19. So this isn't like a tiny little thing. There's lots. And Wally and Eva magic shot. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, look. Here it is right here. It's not that big, right? So you can see this is. You know what I need, Sam? Hold on.
It looks a banana for scale.
So if I were a
Absolutely you do.
7.5-inch banana,
I'd say that's 6 inches.
I'd say.
So is that the same size of the same size of one of these things?
It's a bit fatter.
A little bit bigger than that.
If you really want to see, here you go, my friend. I just happen to have all of these in my hand.
Oh, there you go. All right. So the Epcot map, the Cool Kids Summer Activity, which includes other scavenger hunts, and the PhotoPass Magic Shot Scavenger Hunt, which is all 4 parks.
All 4 parks. It's a great little thing. Look, it doesn't cost anything, and there is no prize. The prize is you get these magic shots, and they're great magic shots. Yeah, there's some magic shots in there, Sam, and you know me, you and I both love the PhotoPass people. We love getting magic shots. We always do them. We will both stop and be like, magic shot time. There's some in there that I did not realize that they actually existed, and was really happy to find them and go, I'm going to go do this. I need to go fist bump an ocean wave with Moana.
That's cool.
Daisy Duck is in her swim gear on one of them.
Oh wow!
A lot of these we've done. Daisy is over in Italy on the steps. Yeah.
See, I would not expect that. You need the scavenger hunt. You need the book.
Yeah, you need the book, man. There's some good ones in here. Donald with a Mickey balloon.
Let's move on because lots going on at Epcot. We're still in Epcot, dude. I got to keep us moving. We're still in Epcot, back at the Crown and Crests, where you had noticed not long ago some families that included Marvel characters.
Sometimes I do stuff for you, Sam.
How cool is it to have the family name history for Skywalker? That is the coolest thing ever. And then move on and you find that Obi-Wan Kenobi or Solo and Skywalker wedding from Corellia and Alderaan. I love you. I know. I love that. How cool is that?
It's great, man. Like some of them are just really cool. This is one of those where like you just have to stop by and see. Like they had the One Direction kids in there recently. Then they had the Marvel characters.
They got Darth Vader, man.
Yeah,
Darth Vader, Tatooine.
I love the Obi-Wan Kenobi and all that stuff. Like they do a good job over there. And look, you can do your own family if you want while you're there.
Well,
that's just one of those things you have to walk through. If you live here and you just go right through it, there you go, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it. All right, speaking of going right through, some new images from Test Track, which is moving along. You know, we're getting somewhere. The new marquees out there. You got some images of the gear store things happening.
Yeah, that, by the way, Test Track, the shop that was there, new name called the Gear Shop. But I haven't written about that yet. That's from today.
That's pretty cool. The Gear Shop. Nice.
Yeah. So that is no longer called Simporium or whatever it was.
Well, I think the whole Sim Track thing's done, right?
Yeah. So now it's just Gear Shop.
Good, because the Sim stuff needed to go. Anyway, let's
Okay.
move on. I got a couple. We're going to switch gears away from the park for just a second. A couple of interesting things happening. King of the Hill season 14 was announced. I thought that was kind of cool.
Wow,
An
that's
aged
I didn't
Bobby.
expect to get a King of the Hill thing reference tonight.
Well,
Awesome.
King of the Hill. This is 20th Century Fox. Another thing I was going to put a slide in, Greg, but I forgot. 1 week from today, on June the 11th, Snow White drops on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And speaking of King of the Hill, big ups to John Redcorn, who unfortunately was shot and killed yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
Sad. I didn't mean to bring that up, not to bring us
No,
all
but that
down. I
kinda
mean,
stinks, yeah.
King
I
of
just
the
like
Hill.
the aged Bobby. I thought was kind of
Yeah.
cool. I'm like,
Hey,
okay.
King of the Hill's coming back. Big ups, John Redcorn.
All right, let's go to Greg's popcorn buckets because there are buckets galore, buckets everywhere. I grabbed as many images as I could. This fantastic car, is that how you say it? Looks
A
awesome.
fantastic
from the
car. Yeah,
Fantastic
man.
Four.
Fantastic
That looks
Four.
really cool.
That looks really cool. Listen, AMC, Regal, and Cinemark all announced all their final Fantastic Four popcorn buckets coming out for the Marvel Studios movie. They come out July 24th or 25th, depending on which market you're in. They are selling the largest popcorn vessel ever sold. It's 340 ounces of popcorn, and it is Galactus head. It is lights up with LED. It's impressive. Herbie is a whole vessel with popcorn and a drink and candy holder. Like, they've really done an amazing job.
I did want to say that I did notice under this fancy car.
Yeah.
It is a popcorn container, not a bucket.
Yes, it's a popcorn bucket. It's a bucket. Don't give me this container vessel, concession vessel.
So the Herbie is popcorn plus a drink and candy?
Yeah. But
and
look,
a place to store
that
all three.
top
Okay.
Galactus, the big bad guy in the movie for Fantastic Four First Steps.
That's
it is
how big
massive.
it was.
Massive. I think that's going to be the first time you go to a theater and find a popcorn bucket over $50, right?
Okay.
The most expensive one we've had was Thunderbolt's New Avengers.
The car.
Red Avengers car was $49.99. I think you're looking at finally breaking that $50 mark on popcorn buckets.
Clearly, these things are selling because there's collect all 6 large popcorn buckets.
They're getting bigger and bigger and more. Like, I can't wait. What's next? So we have Ilio. We have that. I don't know if they're going to come out with like a Freakier Friday one where they have like Jamie Lee Curtis's head.
Maybe. All right. Then you got This Is How to Train Your Dragon, right?
Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon comes out soon from Universal.
So is this a bucket and a sipper?
Yeah, it's a bucket and a sipper.
Okay.
And there's many buckets for How to Train Your Dragon, but that one's one of the cooler ones. It's Hiccup. It looks like he's a gargoyle. It's smaller than it looks, though.
Okay. There are some others that you shared. Now, these aren't from movies. These are from Universal Studios.
It's Tim.
Okay. I just see like a plush that you're telling me is a popcorn bucket.
That's Tim. The popcorn bucket. It's just Tim. Do you know who Tim is?
I don't.
Dude, Tim, believe me, I had to learn this myself because once I saw this popcorn bucket was named Tim, I was like, that's the greatest popcorn bucket ever. It's Tim. Tim is a teddy bear from the Minions Despicable Me movie. He is Bob's teddy bear.
Okay.
And Bob is a minion, right?
Okay.
So Bob's the minion, his teddy bear is now a popcorn bucket at Universal.
Okay.
The back of his head opens up and you can fill it. This is actually like truly teddy bear feeling. So I would not go anywhere near popcorn with it. Get it filled somewhere else. Keep this clean. If you get it dirty, treat it like a teddy bear on how you would clean it.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. All right. Continuing at Universal, Jaws 50. Which, by the way, I thought this was an interesting segue here. You're at Universal Studios. Oh, you have it there. Very cool.
Of course I have it. There's not many things I buy, man, but
did that come with the sipper in his mouth, or was that?
Yeah. It's not just a sipper because Scott, I mean, Sam, you and I grew up with this. Like, that is legit the scuba tank that gets shot and blows
Yeah.
up Bruce the shark at the end of it, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So
spoiler alert.
on Spoiler alert. That's great. What's great? There's actual teeth marks on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws. They
Well,
have a
and that's
lot
what I
going
wanted to
on.
talk about because
Yeah,
Jaws clearly a universal picture and an attraction, but there is a Disney Plus, Hulu, National Geographic Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story coming to Disney Plus in July. I
right.
just thought it was so cool that Disney's pushing this Jaws, which by the way includes Steven Spielberg. There's a trailer out. I posted a blog about this over at Sam's Disney Diary, where the interviewer asks him, "Are there any stories that you never told about filming or creating Jaws?" And his answer was, "Let's find out." So it's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. So you grew up across the state in Pennsylvania.
Yes,
I grew up at the Jersey Shore. These movies, when they premiered on HBO back home box office back in the day, like
sure.
in the early 80s, made me never want to go in the ocean again, man. Like, and I had a fear of the ocean for many years because of Jaws and Jaws 2. The first two
I
movies
can
I ever
understand.
saw was Empire Strikes Back and Jaws 2.
Okay,
My
yeah, those
parents
are.
loved me and hated me.
Yeah, there you go.
But
There is
yeah,
some
so
Jaws
they are
50th
available
stuff.
over there. It's really cheap, man. 24 bucks for that sipper, and it's heavy and it comes with the rope and it sits on the desk beautifully and it'll
That's
be up
awesome.
on the back wall next week. And they're selling. Like, I'm not kidding. I witnessed a rack of them go in a matter of a minute and a half. Like, somebody bought 20 of them.
Wow. So no limits
Yeah.
at Universal. How many?
There's no limit to Universal.
Yeah. All right, let's Greg's epic thoughts. I have some images here. I'm going to let you talk through them.
Let's go.
These are well, I'll let you
Well,
tell me
that's
what
not
these are.
I mean, it's still Universal. So,
Yeah,
what they're doing is part of the Jaws 50th anniversary is they're giving you the retro look. When they removed Jaws the ride, they obviously kept some of the props and you could see the shark that still hangs. This is in the San Francisco Pier area of Universal Studios. This is a image of the original Jaws attraction that was at Universal, which
sure,
became where Harry Potter is now,
sure.
where for those who know is Diagon Alley in that area. But yeah, that's the one of the original boat fronts, and then the back is a picture, obviously, because they
It's
don't
right.
have the giant Jaws shark coming out trying to kill you.
It's cool. All right, you also went over there because of a new movie coming out.
Yeah.
Tell me about it because I
How
know
to
nothing about
Train Your
this.
Dragon live action. So you have seen Disney do a lot. We just talked about Snow White being live
Mhm.
action. How to Train Your Dragon, 3 movies that came out from Universal. They are coming out with a live action version and it looks impressive. It looks really good.
Okay,
Toothless and Hiccup are back. And again, how live action is it? It's partially computer generated
sure.
creatures with some human actors, but it looks really well and it ties in really well with Isle of Berk, with How to Train Your Dragon at Epic Universe. Universal is doing a good job making sure that they tie in everything. So this is actually at Islands of Adventure over in the
I
Mythos
don't know, man.
area. It's the Mythos area where the thing
Okay.
is. But yeah, they have a full-on display. They have a new store back there. They have photo ops. They have props. That Hiccup, which you just saw, or sorry, Toothless, the dragon you just saw, you can go behind that and stand there and act like you are flying on his back. It looks great.
Oh,
So
that's
I
cool.
bent down and just took a picture up. I didn't want you to see the whole seating arrangement, and it
I
looks
understand.
great.
I understand.
Above your head, dragons are sitting down, staring at you, looking at you. Universal's really starting to do a better job of implementing their movies into the parks. And I think that they were missing it a little bit, but I think they really figured it out, especially with Epic Universe opening.
Sure, and there's a lot of, How to Train.
Merchandising and just interactive stuff and merchandising and flamethrowers, the dragon.
We have dragons.
All right, we have when they say they have dragons, man, they have dragons. Legit, they have dragons.
Here's June 13th.
Yeah. And
So
it's going to
that's-
be excellent. It looks really well done. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, that's one of the movies my kids loved, and I can't wait to
great.
see them in live action.
Um,
King Julian, man.
Thank you. I didn't know who that was.
I like to move it.
I knew that, but I didn't know
Yeah.
who the character was.
Yeah, it's King Julian just hanging out behind How to Train Your Dragon.
Are they singing the song? Is that what they're doing?
They dance to like 4 different songs out there, and all 4 of them are doing a choreographed dance, and then he will stop and he will meet and greet people, and then he'll go back to dancing, and then he'll disappear.
Cool.
It's cool, man.
Are these headbands, dude?
They are. There's nothing better than the sheep in How to Train Your Dragon. And Sam, you know me, I latch onto the weirdest thing. So at Isle of Burke, I walked around taking pictures of nothing but sheep. No reason why. I just wanted sheep. And then I saw this headband and was like, oh so my gosh.
Is that a build your own
they
headband?
thought of me.
It looks like build your own. Like you could put Goofy right next to those sheep, or you can pull those sheep off.
This one's not. It does look like that. They have a bunch of those singular ones, or the ones that look like you can build them. But no, these are legit, just like that. And they're not too expensive, $25, $30.
Okay. Well, they're not Mickey ears for sure. It's just a headband that has sheep on it.
Just
one black
sheep
sheep.
ears.
Sheep ears. Okay, cool.
Dragon
all right.
ears.
Dude, the time flies when you're having fun. I do. What do we end with every week, dude?
Muppets Magnet.
Muppets Magnets. This week number 41 of 70, Andy and Randy Pig. Not on my bingo card, Greg. Not on my bingo card.
I gotta admit, I was hoping they would be on a bingo card somewhere. But dude, I love when I text you and you're like, I had to look it up.
I did.
I'm like,
these
dude,
are
it's Andy and
Piggy's
Randy
nephews.
It's Piggy's nephews. By the way, one or both may actually be deceased.
Okay. I do not know.
The last we saw them was in Haunted Mansion as ghosts. Just saying.
Oh.
Just saying. And you know what? Yeah. They kind of deserve it. They suck. I love them.
So I still 1, 2, 3 of my top 10 plus 4 have been done. There's lots of good ones to go.
There is some great ones still to go. I cannot wait to see what comes out next. Fridays around noon, we always update you on
they drop on Fridays. And dude, look at my image here. I'm getting close to the last row. I'm gonna need to rethink how I present these.
I think you have to start doing a widescreen, and they need to be in like the Muppets TV show where they come out from behind the curtain.
I just try to make it easy. Just make one smaller and pull a new
one.
Hey,
in. I will be over there Friday, and I will have 2 more magnets, and we will be at week number 42. And that means we only have 28 weeks left to go, Sam, which means we only have 27 weeks left of the year. Does that sound right? That's crazy.
I think so. Maybe.
When you start thinking about things like that way. Anyway, we always appreciate everybody for stopping by and watching as usual. Thanks for interacting tonight. You can always get Sam at samsdisneydiary.com, Sam's Disney Daily on Instagram, or please, if you're watching on YouTube, give him a like, give him a shout out on Sam's Disney Diary on YouTube. You can get me a Fantasyland News blog on Instagram, fantasylandnews.com for all the news from the parks on a daily basis. And of course, hopefully you're watching on Fantasyland News on YouTube. Other than that, Sam, oh, by the way, and TikTok. Apparently I have a TikTok. I don't know how to tick and or talk. Either way, I'm going to end it with end the line, sir.
Congaloose, thanks for joining us. See you next week, next Wednesday, same time, same place, 9 p.m., June the 11th. See you then. Congaloose.